Just like magic, there he is. Chase, can you hear me?
Yep, you got me.
All right, thanks for joining us. We are going to roll straight into questions. Once again, if you have a question for Chase, please raise your hand within the Zoom platform or send us a chat. We will get to as many questions as we can with Chase during our allotted time. And to kick us off, we'll go to Jerry Jordan. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Chase, I just, kick this thing off with your thoughts on going into Daytona and it being with the Clash this weekend as the defending champion, and what pressure you have on your shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, just looking forward to getting the season started. Obviously, the beginning of a very long road our season is, so an exciting week always. I feel like when I get to Daytona, I'm excited and ready to get started. Like I said, it's a great week for our sport, big event, but also the first days of what is a very long season. And I think anybody that traveled this deal knows that. So long road ahead.
Thank you.
We will take our next question from Claire B. Lang. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you. Chase, talk about qualifying this year. And, sometimes drivers at Daytona kind of fling qualifying out as like, well, anybody can do it, which I never felt that I could do it. But that's how we feel like, we're down there covering it. But it's a different year this year. How do you look at qualifying?
To be honest, I don't really look at it any different. I mean, I think it's a very straightforward thing. I mean, single car qualifying at Daytona is really a representation of your team and your organization, your aero department and engine shop. It really, I think, is an opportunity for them to come out of the box strong and for them to get the recognition and the credit they deserve if you do have a good day. But just really not about the driver. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's not hard. There's nothing difficult about making a qualifying lap at Daytona or Talladega. The race is obviously very different. I do think a lot of thinking and decision making goes into that, but the qualifying side of things, like I said, just a representation of what your team has been working hard over the winter for, and an opportunity to come out of the box strong.
You're always good at qualifying at Daytona for the Daytona 500, as you know, you've been on the pole, etc. Kyle Larson said he never thought of himself as a good qualifier down there, but now he does. So now he's rethinking and thinking everything and focusing because he knows he'll have a car to do it, right? So I guess you're just sort of used to having what you need to get the job done there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's, like I said, I don't think it's me being good at it. I think it's Alan and our team and the Hendrick Engine Shop, Chevrolet and the people that work on our cars to give us fast race cars for a super speedway like Daytona or Talladega. So I have been fortunate. I've been in that position since I got here. Kyle's past, I guess, at Ganassi, they, haven't been as fortunate on the speedway qualifying side of things. Could be different this year. Who knows? But yeah, I think we'll all have a good shot at it.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Mike Solarte. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks very much. Hey, Champ. Good morning. Simply put, what do you do for an encore? I mean, and with the way that you guys finished up the year last year, and you needed to get that win in the late round to get in, to keep advancing. And I mean, if there was anybody that was a hotter driver on the series at the end of the year, I couldn't find him. So what do you do for an encore now and try to do that, I guess, for what, start to finish?
Yeah, just keep pushing. Like I've said throughout the winter, and since Phoenix last year, obviously a great end. We were able to get hot at the right time and have really well executed races to end the season. But I think for us, and the cool thing for me that I've really thought about since then is I just think there's more for us to go get. I don't think we're at our very best in every category, which is really cool for me and something that I think our team should take a lot of pride in, to be able to have the result that we had last year, but also know that we can still improve and in some pretty big ways in certain areas. So I think that's exciting. It should be for our team. I know it is for me. And I'm looking forward to, trying to clean up those areas that haven't been so good, and also to make the ones that have been good thus far better. And I think we have to do that. Everybody else is going to be improving as always. And we need to, stay the course and just keep doing our thing, keep being us, and continue to improve in every area like we have been.
Have you had an opportunity to stop and think about how radically different the driver lineup at Hendrick is from just say 5 years ago? I mean, it was Jimmy, Jeff, Dale, and now, you got yourself and Kyle and Alex and William, and, it's a true youth movement, but it's a youth movement that's already had some success. I mean, you got a championship, and the rest of the lineup's got wins, and I know Larson's the new guy, but I mean, have you kind of thought about, man, we went young real fast?
Yeah, it's changed for sure. I mean, I've said this a few times over the last couple or month, I guess, since I've been racing and stuff, getting asked the question, but just how things have changed. And I feel like when I get done with my career or whatever, or told I'm done or whatever it is, to look back and to have been one of very few people in those closed door meetings, to see legends step away and one by one step out of that room and watch that room transition. There's a few of us that got to see that firsthand, but that's really cool for me to have watched that happen and to see it transition to what it is now. I think, as I said a couple weeks ago, I think Hendrick Motorsports is an exciting place to be right now, whether you're a driver, a team member, any of our many teammates on the complex. So I think it's a fun place to be, but really, really neat for me to look back and firsthand watch that room transition. It's been pretty wild.
Thanks, Chase. Good luck, man.
Okay, we will take our next question from Matt Weaver. Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry about that. Working on some other things. Thanks for the time this morning, Chase. My first question for you, I got this in a follow-up. I don't believe you've had a chance to test the next gen car, right?
No, I've not.
So based on just feedback from friends or teammates, what have you heard about it so far?
To be real honest with you, I haven't talked to anybody about it. I just feel like there is still to this day things that they aren't 100% sure that they're going to either have on the car, not going to have on the car. I think there's components that we're not sure how are going to hold up at a place like Dover or Bristol. So I personally feel like until we have a definite on all those things, what's the point? Until all the questions are answered, why mess with it? Honestly. So, but looking forward to driving it whenever I get the chance. I was planning to do it last year, early in the year. Schedule didn't work out for me to go, but I think we'll have plenty of time to test, and I think we'll all have plenty of opportunity to drive that car and be prepared for next year. I haven't yet, but I think we'll all have our fair chance.
And my other question, I don't know how much of this was just the Rolex and the Derby and Chili Bowl, but even now you seem a lot more, I don't know if it's like relaxed or comfortable or confident in your role. Do you feel like that's the case ever since winning the championship, or just starting to have success over the last year and a half? Is that a real tangible change that you kind of feel in yourself?
I don't know. I think for me, I've just been trying to just enjoy all of the different situations and scenarios I've been a part of. Obviously, winning a championship is great. I think it brings confidence to our entire team. And, I've really just enjoyed my winter and enjoyed racing and kind of, I don't want to say refound of passion or found it again, because I feel like it's always been there, but just to go and to seek out opportunities and have some opportunities come to me, be able to go race. I've just had a lot of fun with it. And I think that was something I put a lot of emphasis on at the end of last year, and myself and to our team in general, was just enjoying those moments more. You have to enjoy those big spots, I feel like, to have success in them. And I think from that standpoint, just trying to carry that over to everything, just enjoy all the moments that you can. Take advantage of opportunities while you have them. Might not always have these opportunities. So go race, do the things you enjoy. I'm still fairly young and can go do these things, and you got to live life. So try to live it and have fun with it.
Thanks, Chase.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Steve with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, hey Chase, you've managed to keep your home base here in Georgia when I guess it might be easier to be up in North Carolina. How have you managed to do that, and why is that important to you?
It's just home for me. You know, I like where I live. I like the area. Georgia's where I'm from, and it's just, I think like anybody, you know, home is home, and not everyone has the luxury or the opportunity to not have to move for their job. Sometimes you have to move for a job and you have to relocate. And that can be tough. But you know, if you have the opportunity to stay where you want to stay and you can make it work, I think most anybody would do that if they had the choice. So fortunately for me, the choice was there, and I've been able to make it work. And yeah, I just like the area, like anybody else, kind of home and what I'm used to, and that's really about it. Pretty simple.
Well, is it at times difficult? What are the mechanics of making that work for you?
I mean, it's as difficult as you make it, I guess. You know, for me, it's trips back and forth to Charlotte, but I think a lot of it really is just managing logistics, managing your schedule, having good people to line those things up. Also, that understand I am remote, so when I do go to North Carolina, I'm busy and I do what I have to do and fulfill my role and do all the things that I need to do to do my job. So yeah, it definitely can be some added work at times, but for me, I enjoy where I'm at. I enjoy flying and enjoy aviation. Gives me an opportunity to do more of that as well. So yeah, it's been good.
All right, thanks.
Okay, we are going to take our next question from Kelly Crandall. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Chase, just one for you. You said many times after Martinsville and Phoenix and through the winter that it was important for your team to just rise to the occasion in those tough moments when your back's against the wall, prove that you guys could do it. How important will going into this year be to just keep doing that, to prove that you can do that repeatedly and not just, it wasn't just a one-time thing or two-time thing last year? Yeah,
I mean, look, any sport is always what have you done lately. So, I mean, I think about all the disrespect that Jimmy Johnson got towards the end of his career. It's like everybody just forgot about how great he is, you know, just because he might have had a bad race or a bad stretch of races. So, look, I mean, this will, no matter that, the lesson that taught me is no matter what you do, if you have a bad stretch or don't do well, they're going to come after you about whatever you've done recently. And on the flip side of that too, if you have a good run after being trash for, you know, a year or something, everybody's going to be hyping you up and excited for you and jumping on the bandwagon. So it's all about performance, and it's all about what have you done lately. And, you know, we want to push and we want to continue to do good for ourselves and push our team internally. And ultimately that's really all that matters to me, and really all that matters to our entire group.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Chase. A lot of guys on the media calls the last week or so have been talking about how the change in the schedule this year has kind of altered some of their thinking and approach towards getting and advancing to the playoffs. I was wondering, as a guy who's been very successful on road course races of late, does that automatically mean that you're greatly anticipating having 7 road course races this year, or are there other areas that you and your team feel like you'd like to focus on?
No, I mean, that's been a very popular question, you know, from the road course side of things. I mean, yes, it's been good the past few trips, but that doesn't mean it's going to go good next time. As you know, again, back to what have you done for me lately topic. So that narrative can change very quickly, and that's just part of what we do. So no, I don't have a different approach, to be honest. Like, there has not been one part of me that, you know, watched the schedule change and see 7 road courses and be like, oh yeah, we got them now. I mean, that's just not how I am. So, you know, the schedule is what it is. I don't enjoy having any more or less road courses. I really don't care where we go. At the end of the day, I think you have to be good everywhere. I think you need to be good everywhere, and I want to be good everywhere. I think, you know, I want to, we as a team want to get to the point where we can win any given week, road course, circle track, intermediate, dirt, whatever it is. We want to be able to win anytime. And I think the great teams and the great drivers are able to do that. And I think we're very capable of doing that. So that's really where my head's at, is just trying to be good everywhere.
Is there any particular area that you felt that you guys wanted to focus on a little bit extra this year that you felt you didn't do quite as well as you hoped last season?
Yeah, man, and I've said this, but just eliminating bad tracks. You know, I still think we have some bad tracks, places that I'm not great at, places we haven't been great at as a team, you know, whatever it may be, just bad results. So yeah, just clean that up, man. I like I said, I think there's a really small group of guys that can win literally every week. Like, we all would leave the track and would not be a bit surprised that they won the race. And I think that I just want our team to be a part of that conversation as well. I want to get to the point where if we leave the racetrack, that no one was surprised that we won. And I think our team is very capable of doing that. And that's really where my head's at. That's really where it was at last year too. And I think if you can get amongst that group and consistently be there, have a chance to win every single week, be in the hunt, I think the rest of it will fall into place, and you'll have plenty of opportunities for a long, long time to do great things.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Michelle Martinelli. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, Chase. I was wondering if you've had any conversations with Kyle about some of the work he did last year to better educate himself on race-related issues and contributing to underserved and underrepresented communities. And if you have, what were those conversations like?
Yeah, you know, Kyle and I have talked about it a little bit. You know, for me, just being on the outside looking in on his situation and whatnot, I just try to be supportive of him. I've tried to, you know, better myself through all of the things that have happened in the last year or two. So from my standpoint regarding Kyle, I've just tried to be a good friend, try to be supportive. I think his life really changed last year. I see a different Kyle than I did a couple years ago. He and I have never been super close, like we're not best friends, but we've always had a mutual respect for one another, I feel like, and I've always respected him. So just to see the change in him and to just see how literally his life changed overnight, and the efforts he's made to make that right and to better himself through that, I think is something that we should all admire about him and respect. But I guess to answer your question, I just try to be supportive of him. And I tried to be supportive of him, you know, supportive of him directly right after all of that happened, and still try to be today.
What are some of the things you've done to better yourself that you just mentioned?
To be honest, I just try to treat people how I would want to be treated. And I think that's kind of the golden rule, right? You learn that when you are in kindergarten and elementary school, and it sounds elementary and it sounds simple and dumb, but I really think it is that simple. If we all personally take on that role, there is no problems in the world, in my personal opinion. So I think it's on each individual to really treat people with the respect and things that they deserve and that they would want to have for themselves.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Just kind of curious, are you going back to Bubba tonight?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I was wanting to, wanting to, if the weather holds out. I was planning on running, so hopefully it does, and we can finish that out. Been a long weekend over there with the rain and everything. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
In the downtime when it was raining and things, the track was, I don't know, kind of messed up, but did you have time to pick the brain of Chris Wyndham and Chad Boat just to try to figure out, try to improve your craft in a midget?
Yeah, we've talked a lot, and I feel like I made a lot of gains over there this weekend. Might not show it or whatever, but I feel like personally I have gotten better in certain aspects. I think the biggest one for me has just been the race craft. I feel like there's times where I can make some decent lap time in comparison to some of the guys that are good like Chris over there. But in the racing environment, just understanding kind of how to position your car, how to be around guys, how to move forward, how to restart and move forward and not just get, completely taken advantage of in those certain situations, I feel like is the area that I need to get better at. And I feel like there's been gains made, and yeah, I've tried to lean on those guys as much as I can. But on the same token too, you really have to learn some of those things on your own. I mean, you can have great advice and great people help you, which I've had, but you got to figure it out on your own, or they're not driving it for you. So you got to get there by yourself at some point.
I don't know if you had enough laps at Chili Bowl to kind of get the feel of how slow the stock cars slow down after being in one of those cars with, the low weight and the high horsepower. But, if not, I'll be curious to find out after, getting in stock cars this week, how the difference feels. But, I was told that, no matter what you get in, you can learn something. You can learn an aspect of racing from any kind of car, whether it's midgets, whether it was the late models, whether it's the sports car. So I'll be interested to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I honestly don't, I don't know. I mean, for me, the stock car side of things is just kind of what I'm used to. That feel, I guess, is kind of home for me. So yeah, everything else has been a little foreign to try to learn and get used to. But like I said, I've had fun with it. I'm not sure what will translate, but I do think there are things about these different types of racing that I've done throughout the winter that will help you, whether it's mentally, racing environments. The dirt side of things is just so fast paced. There's no time to really kind of gather yourself up and set up a guy. You can't take 5 laps to set up a pass, right? You gotta really get after it. And I think that mentality of being precise, coming out of the box and being good can translate to anything, because at some point in time, you're going to be put in tough situations, and that's just a timely situation from the very start in that world. So I think that's one good thing you can learn.
Thanks for your time. Good luck this week.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Alex with the Charlotte Observer. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Chase, this is actually kind of related to that topic, but how many total off-season races have you run, and have you ever done this many in your Cup career in the off-season?
Yeah, I've never done it in my Cup career. Trying to think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, something like that. Throughout the winter. I haven't really done any type of racing through the winter since I've been in Cup. So it's been a nice change of pace. I've enjoyed traveling around and driving different cars and doing different things. So it's been fun.
And I mean, kind of why do so many now? Was this something that you just wanted to do for fun, or you were sort of doing it in the hopes that it would translate to Cup?
Why not? Had some opportunities to go and do different things. I'm 25, trying to live life and drive race cars and be good at what I can be good at and learn as much as I can, face new challenges, get uncomfortable, learn new things, and yeah, have fun.
Well, thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Mark Garrow. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you. Good morning, Chase. Thanks for joining us. Second race of the season now is the Daytona Road Course. You won the inaugural race on that. What kind of race do you anticipate this time around? You and Denny obviously had a great go-round the first time, but just what kind of race do you expect? And I know you say, hey, I just race them one at a time, but it's got to be kind of nice to have that pop up number 2 on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, the road course worked out good for us over the summer for sure. Had a good start there, but I just never felt like, even at the end of that race, Denny would probably say the same thing. I feel like this was the case for me. I don't know that by the end of that race, I had even pieced together every part of the racetrack properly and really dialed in all of my marks and maximized every corner. I felt like he and I there at the end of the race, we were still learning, like as we were racing to the checkered flag, at least I was. And I never felt like I found my limit in certain corners. And I think that was, that race was so unique because most of us had never raced on that racetrack before, and we all just started the race. So it was a bit of a guessing game. And I think by the end, although I felt much closer to maximizing a good lap, or what I would consider a great lap at times. But I never feel like I got there in all aspects. And I think most guys would tell you the same thing, that basically we were still learning at the end of that event. And that was a cool part about it for me, just kind of, just kind of guessing. It was a fun environment.
And as a follow-up to that, we've talked to several drivers during these media Zoom calls leading up to the 500 about, your strength on the road courses, and are they studying you? And they are. And I guess it's a 2-part question. What does it feel like to have so many people kind of studying you? And how do you feel about them being able to have so much data to really kind of zoom in on things that you do, whereupon, once upon a time in this sport, you kind of had your own thing. If you built up an advantage, they had to find it the hard way. Now it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's a good question. I honestly don't feel like I do anything special at those places. I'll take that to my grave. That was exemplified in the Rolex 24. If you watch that, I was not even close to the great road racers of the guys around the world that were in that event. So, I really don't think I do anything special. I think I've been fortunate to drive fast cars, and Alan does a really good job, I think, of putting emphasis on things that matter in road racing. He kind of has a little bit of road racing background, being from down here and kind of being familiar with the sports car stuff. And then also working with Jeff. I think that kind of gets overlooked a little bit. That was a really good foundation for me coming in. So I don't think I do anything special. The data thing is, interesting. But we've had data for a long time too. Now, it's been around for probably pretty easy access for 10 years, I would say, something like that. So that's nothing super new. And obviously it's not going away. So it's, for me, I always struggle to find those really small details that make a difference in the data, because they're so small and sometimes it doesn't depict it. But I'm sure guys are going to be better for sure. I'm sure their cars are going to be better, and we have to be better as well.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to squeeze in one final question from Jonathan Hopp with WTVM. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hey, Chase, I'm curious what kind of conversations maybe you've had with some mentors or some peers about going into a season as the defending champ?
To be real honest with you, I have not talked to anyone about it. So yeah, we're going to give it our best shot and go from there. For me, I just kind of thinking about it right now, and what I have thought about personally going into the year is just, and this sounds boring, like a lot of answers do, but just trying to be better, improving in those areas that we haven't been good in or been great in. But just look, we're not, there is no defending. We need to be on offense. We need to keep pushing. You know, I think if you're back on your heels trying to protect something, I don't think your mind is in the right place. So we want more. We're not trying to play defense. We just simply want more. And I think that's needs to be our outlook, and keep it as simple as that.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, Chase, we appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us this morning. We wish you the best of luck in the Daytona 500.
Cool. Thanks.